Good afternoon to you. You're just in time for news feed here on TV47. Thank you so much for tuning in. Remember, you can interact with us at TV47 Kenya across all social media platforms. I am Muthoni Minor. Starting off, the IEBC selection panel is expected to conclude the interview process today. Rose Mumbua Musyoki is currently before the selection panel. Now, we will definitely have that report lined up for you later on. Now, moving on, Mathira MP Rigathi Gachagua has been arrested over alleged money laundering claims. The legislator was arrested in his Nyeri home this morning. The MP, however, says his support for UDA and Deputy President William Ruto has instigated his arrest. Joash Ansari reports.
DCI Slates on Friday morning raided Mathira MP Rigathi Gachagua's rural home in Nyeri. Rigathi was arrested over alleged money laundering claims. He was driven to DCI headquarters in Kiambu for questioning. His lawyers said at least 15 officers arrested the MP. Rigathi, who took to his social media, said it's finally over, saying the last 2 years have been hell for him in what he termed as constant harassment and intimidation from the government. The MP has attributed his arrest with the just concluded Kiamba by-elections, where UDA candidate won against the Jubilee candidate, saying Kiamba is just a tip in the iceberg, vowing to stick with Deputy President William Ruto in the 2022 election. The Asset Recovery Agency filed a case in the High Court on money laundering through companies associated with the MP. ARA says the lawmaker received more than 12.5 billion shillings through 3 accounts using Rafiki Microfinance Bank in 7 years, payments that have been labeled suspicious. Joash Onsare, TV47, Nairobi.
Moving on, the IEBC selection panel is today expected to conclude the interview process. Rose Mumbua Musyoki appeared before the selection panel. Now let's cross over and listen in.
Of some matter that we settled in Mombasa, that the public beaches, the access to those beaches. That is something we did and implemented immediately because it was within the powers of the commission.
Thank you.
Yeah, but these others, we recommended other agencies.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It is in the public domain that at the formative stages of your commission, there was a lot of friction with the national government, and you took a lot of time to settle in. It's also in the public domain that the commission you served was afflicted by allegations of corruption, inefficiency, and ethical misconduct. And these matters went to court. I don't want you to delve into that. But with that baggage that afflicted the National Lands Commission, there is an argument that there's something called institutional culture. Do you think that somebody coming from such a commission would transpose that institutional culture to a commission as critical as the Electoral Commission?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Mr. Kimuli, for the question. First, I want to respond as follows. With respect to the noise, I want to state that the National Land Commission, the key mandate of that commission is to drive the land reform agenda in the country. And reforms are not easy to implement because they come with new ways of doing things as opposed to what people have been used to for many years. So some of the noise emanated from just reaction to implementation of this land reform by the Commission.
Okay.
And misunderstandings.
Yeah.
And with the time, if you followed, with the time that came to an end, and there was silence, and we even worked together. By the time our term ended, we were doing joint projects with the ministry. School tightly, it's one of them.
Okay, because you have this area of expertise in urban planning, when you look at our constitution,
sorry.
Article 89.
Mr. Kimuli.
Yes.
I hadn't finished responding.
Yeah, just finish because we were out of time and you see chairs notification.
You have raised. Yeah, the issue of corruption, those allegations also arose towards the end of our term. And I want to state that corruption is like sin, and it is not transferable. Neither is it collective. The decisions that the Commission made were made as a commission, by the Commission in quorum. And the Commission provided policy guidance in all its activities.
No, that's okay.
So if somebody decided to go outside of that, the practice in the Commission was that all staff would have to take responsibility for their work, for their decisions, for their actions.
Yeah, that's okay. I know one of my colleagues.
It's unfortunate that some of my former colleagues got caught up in these allegations.
Yeah, I know one of my colleagues will ask you about collective responsibility as commissioners. But just one last question. I was referring you, because our time is up, I was referring you to the question of delimitation. The Constitution says one of the considerations IEBC will have is geographical features and urban centers. That the Commission in delimiting boundaries should take into account urban centers. What do you think that means and implies? Very briefly.
Geographical features and urban centers.
I'm talking about urban centers, because you are an urban planner.
Yes.
What does the Constitution what does the Constitution imply when it talks about urban centers as a consideration while delimiting boundaries?
It refers to urban centers as those human settlements that have at least.
Now that is Rose Musyoki, who is currently before the selection panel. Remember, today the IEBC selection panel is expected to conclude the interview process for the search of IEBC commissioners. Now moving on, the Judges and Magistrates Association has petitioned the High Court seeking orders barring the DPP and DCI from prosecuting Justices Said Chitembe and Agre Muchelule over 5 million shillings bribery claims. This comes hours after the two judges were arrested and later released by the DCI officers on bribery allegation on Thursday. The lawyers, led by Judge Dunstan Omari, addressed the press at the Milimani Law Court and condemned the DCI move, saying it's intimidating the judicial officers.
The basis of our filing the petition is one. In the decided case of Justice, the Deputy Chief Justice, Mwilu, the judges were very categorical that when an issue arises touching on judges of the High Court or judges of any superior court, that matter should first be dealt with the JSC before the police decide to arrest. But still, the judges were arrested. This is not the first arrest by the DCI of judicial officers. Justice Ole Kantai was arrested on flimsy grounds, taken to the DCI. To date, he has never been charged. The actions of the DCI was aimed, one, to embarrass the judges, to humiliate the judges. Remember, Justice Mchelule was the judge under commission of the JSC. And since the Chief Justice Maraga took position as the CJ, the state has always believed that Chief Justice Mchelule is the reason as to why Justice Maraga became the CJ.
If you want to go and arrest a judge because you are saying that he is corrupt, then these are the things that you put into play. You must then have your recordings. You must have all those money treated and everything. This money that was being talked about, was it treated? Has anybody seen it? This is a serious game. This is a dangerous game. And when we are saying this, we know that nobody is safe. Something must be done. People must face the process. Heads must roll. I don't know whose head will roll first, but heads at the DCI must roll.
Now on to political matters, as Siaya Governor Colonel Rasanga now says something needs to be done urgently to resuscitate the NASA coalition, which he says is in its deathbed. Rasanga has at the same time accused the ANC party of weakening the ODM party structures at the grassroots, especially in Western region.
I'm alive to the fact that there was some coalition between ODM and other parties before the last general election, which I think if you are a rational person, you cannot still be talking about it now, because we need some formation towards this particular election that is coming. So either we have a fresh start or we renew the efforts of the previous one, but in a very renewed sense. Why? Because when you go hunting, right, and you have not gotten anything, you don't come back and scramble over nothing. Although they are not scrambling over nothing, they are talking about the fact that ODM has been getting the party money, isn't it? Which I support ODM on that, because the seats that ODM...
Moving on, learning has been paralyzed at the Machakos Teachers College after students protested over the erection of illegal structures near the institution. The students, led by their teacher and the chairman of the institution's board of directors, Tito Kitulu, said a private developer has set a car wash business with structures touching on the college wall, saying this will jeopardize the institution's security.
Really surprised towards the end of last year when someone just decided to come and put up the structures. As the chairman has said, as an institution of learning, it will cause distraction, not just security, also on health matters. Managing the waste from this container may be a challenge.
We are here to complain about a structure that has been built next to the college wall. Actually on the wall, touching on the wall for a car wash by a private developer. For us as a college, we see this as a potential threat for insecurity to this college, because people, Al-Shabaab and others, can use this to blow up this college, which has close to 1,000 students from all over the country. We know that once this structure is licensed to be here. Then along the entire wall, which is a number of meters long, it will be a precedence for other people to come and build structures there all along. And this will be a potential danger to us. We have communicated with the county commissioner. We have communicated with the Minister of Education and with all authorities that have a big concern about security to have this structure relocated to another place.
Now, security has been heightened in Nyeri following protests in the area. Calm has been restored in Nyeri County after a section of residents protested against Mathera MP Rigathi Gachagwa's arrest. The youth lit bonfires and barricaded the roads using tires in protests.
Mungu moja jana itaharibika. Mumetika Rigathi. Hiyo si siri. Na sio siri. Kiambu kwa njano. Tunaenda huko. Mahali wamepeleka na sisi ya kuja tukue atupeleke.
On to Baringo County, where in a bid to reduce cases of malnutrition among children and also empower women in Baringo County, 100 women groups in Baringo have received heifers from Baringo Central MP and pro-Kapsogo groups from Germany. Baringo has recorded high cases of malnutrition owing to poor diet, as many families cannot afford to breed cattle or purchase milk, affecting hundreds of children. Beneficiaries of the program said the heifers will not only improve the living standards but do away with outdated cultural beliefs that only men can be owners of cows.
Here, show the name to the camera. Helene. Next one, mall 5274. Next one. 5257 is the next thing. Next thing. Silent. In the name of God, I baptize you with the name Zili.
Moving on, Frontier Counties Development Council now wants the government to devise new ways of dealing with drought and water scarcity in the northeastern region. Speaking during inspection of a water project at Iftin in Garissa Township, CEO Simba Gulaid said that while there has been perennial water challenges in the region, a lot of water has been lost through flooding and the rest flowing out through River Tana. The project, which is an underground water borehole, is expected to serve over 30,000 households in Garissa Township.
We have also observed that we lose a lot of water every year through flooding, through and even donating a lot of water into the sea. The Tana River flows 12 months in the year, every day, flowing throughout, all of it into the river, yet our people are water scarce. So what we are doing at the FCDC, and the process that we started with a number of partners, including the Swiss Embassy, but also the United Nations, and a number of other partners, is to undertake an assessment for establishment of a block-wide or a region-wide water master plan.
Have sensors that are really the state of the art in technology. That's one thing. It's innovation and technology that's an integral part of the project. The other one is that we don't not only work together with the local authorities, with FCDC, but we also work together with the private sector. So we have companies that are working on this project with us, and that ensures us that the project in the end will also be sustainable.
Now, Equity Bank has commissioned 670 Elimu and Wings to Fly scholarships at the Kakamega High School. In Kakamega County, CEO James Mwangi says the beneficiaries will join the Wings to Fly and Elimu scholarship programs, noting that the scholarships will cater for tuition fees, accommodation, transport, and pocket money.
The next are people in Brighton. The next one is Duncan. Let's clap for them.
You know this, by giving you everything, we have taken away all the excuses away from you. Your lowest.